Hi, everybody. Welcome to Things in My Head. Hey, remember a few weeks back when we had the contest for the bloggers? They were able to win a podcast commercial. Well, we have the winner of that contest today as well as her commercial. We want you to stay tuned. We're going to talk to Renee Weatherford from RenewYourSpace.com right after this.
This is Amy.
Hello.
She was the most disorganized person in the world.
It's okay. I'm okay.
Poor Amy. She could never find anything.
Now where did I put that?
Until that is, she found RenewYourSpace.com.
Wow. RenewYourSpace.com.
At RenewYourSpace.com, Amy learned how to organize her pantry,
Artichokes? When did I buy that?
her drawers,
Oh, look. Clean underwear.
her whole life.
Woohoo.
Now Amy is the most organized person in the world.
Thanks, RenewYourSpace.com.
And we're back with Renee Weatherford from RenewYourSpace.com. Hi, Renee. How are you doing?
I'm great, Angel. How are you?
I am great. Now, as I said in the top of the show, and your commercial that we just did says that you are organizer extraordinaire.
I've been a professional organizer for 4 years. However, I've been organizing for people for the last 20 years.
Oh, okay. So friends and family and people that wanted your skills. Was it just a natural progression for you?
Well, when I was a child, I was actually very disorganized. When we came to Ventura, the recession was happening and it was kind of hard to find a regular job. So I just kind of pulled my resources and I kind of developed a little system to get myself on track. And it stuck with me my entire life. I've been able to help a lot of friends and people that I worked with. So it really came naturally that way.
Awesome. And how long have you had the blog at RenewYourSpace.com?
I've had it for about 4 years now.
What kind of things can we find on RenewYourSpace.com? I've been to your website. I really like your website, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. But is it easy to translate organizing, someone's home or organizing an office to writing a blog about it and getting people involved in that?
I've developed a little challenge for my readers so that they can kind of follow along. I like to go step by step, room by room, and I draw off of my own experience at home. I recently moved into a new home, so I have a lot to reorganize right now.
How fun.
And yeah, so I like to, go like from the kitchen into the living room, into the bedroom, as well as time management.
Now, you basically, you're more than just organizing your home and your office. Folks, she can organize your whole entire life. Trust me. She has helped me to organize doing my show, and which is really kind of funny, and she doesn't even know that. Just from reading her blog at RenewYourSpace.com, Renee has been able to help me to just organize my thoughts, organize doing a blog calendar, and just really getting things in sequential order. Now, I'm not a list person. I'm not an A-type personality. I am probably the most free-flowing person you would ever meet, but she's managed to rein this in, okay? Now, the challenge, we were talking about the challenge on your website, and you've actually helped me do I've done my pantry. I've organized my makeup with you, and yes, you can see the pictures on www.thingsinmyheadblog.com. Unfortunately, I don't have any before pictures of that, but I do have some before pictures of my storage, some of my storage that I've done. I'm a couponer, and I have a storage that I do with extra things that we buy and stuff, and Renee has really been helping me to organize that just by reading her blog. So you know how this works. If you've been listening to our show for any length of time, we always post on our Facebook and Twitter accounts that we have a guest coming up. And Brooke has asked us a couple of questions on our Facebook page. Brooke, we're only going to be able to get to one question. I wanted to address this question because tax season is coming up. And she's asking, what do I do about getting organized for tax season? She says she has so much paperwork and she just bought a house.
That's a great question, Brooke. It's never too early to get organized for tax season. My best advice for getting everything straight before it's too late is to create a file specifically labeled for taxes and the year. If you can, make the file stand out with a bright color so that when you have a receipt or document that's tax related that comes in, you can quickly toss it in there so that you have everything in one place. If you don't have a file cabinet, another option is to use a shoebox or photo box. Again, label it appropriately and always keep it in the same place.
So you have in your book, and we haven't even mentioned this, Renee has 2 books available to you. The one that I am most familiar with is Renew Your Space at Your Own Pace. Okay, and that is available on your website.
Yes.
Cool. So tell us about that. What are we going to find in the book?
The book gives you a room-by-room perspective. As you walk through the front door, how do you want to feel when you walk through the front door all the way through your home? I kind of give you the steps on what to do, how to clean the space and prepare it to become organized, and then kind of give you direction as to where to find the items, as well as links on the internet. And there are so many great links.
When we were doing the pantry challenge, I was teasing you about the fact that I like to do bins. And she's very responsive, folks, because I posted about the fact that I have really deep pantry cabinets. They're not shallow. So getting to things in the back of the pantry, sometimes I forget that they're there. And within 30 minutes, she had posted these wire baskets on rollers that I'm crazy about these things now. I'm saving my pennies. I am going to get these. But
great.
Yeah, you were so responsive. And reading the book, you almost go into more detail than you do on the blog. Like we're doing the challenge on the blog, but the book itself is almost a complete challenge, just laying it out in detail.
I really give you a step-by-step guide for every detail of the space.
What is the most asked question? Is there a most asked question when you find somebody who wants you to help them organize their space? What is like one of the most common questions that you get?
The most common area is the paper. What do I do with my paper? How do I get rid of so many piles of paper?
And what's your best tip for that one?
Well, you don't really have to keep everything. People keep way too much paper, and especially, if you're not in a business, there's really no need to keep 7 years worth of bills.
Guilty. Is it just that we get into a habit of doing that?
I think the way, the old way of thinking, people just hold on to that 7-year time frame and, what if?
Yeah.
What if you need it?
Well, I have to admit, in doing this challenge with Renee, and we were cleaning out the closet, and we found this satchel that we keep important papers in, and I found bills back from 2000, electric bills from 1993. I don't boggles my own mind why I even kept that stuff, but
yeah.
You have another book out. What is the name of the other book? And it has to do with the one thing that I am very guilty of, but
it's called The Procrastinator's Workbook.
What are we going to find there?
It's a lot more about managing your time. It's a lot more about searching for the kind of balance you want in your life. And it has a lot of organizing tips in it, but it's more geared toward why are you not wanting to move forward.
That's exactly what it is. When you find a bill from 1993, you're not moving forward, okay? This is just my own tip. Let's say if we want to get a local organizer to come into our home, what things should we have prepared for them so that they can come in and do a better job for us?
I think the best tip there is just to not touch anything before they come, because it's so much easier for the organizer to look at how you live naturally. A lot of people try to reorganize really quickly before you get there, and it just kind of throws things off. It's not real.
Oh, so there's the embarrassment factor.
Yes. It's kind of like cleaning before the housekeeper gets there.
Yeah, and I'm probably guilty of that one too. Oh gosh. Okay, so we've only got a few minutes left. I want to let you guys know, and I said this at the top of the hour, that Renee is the winner of our blogger contest. She won the podcast commercial. So you're going to be hearing a lot more about renewyourspace.com on our podcast here at Things in My Head. And you can also go to thingsinmyheadblog.com and search there. We've actually featured Renee on our site before. We went surfing on the internet, and it was one of our blog posts on there. And we'll have links to that so that you can find out what my thoughts about renewyourspace.com is. And also, Renee, what types of tips can you give our listeners really quickly? Just some little things that they can do. Maybe they're just getting started. Maybe they're just going to go to renewyourspace.com and start the challenge with you guys. And trust me, you can start this challenge anytime. You didn't have to start at the beginning. You can start in the middle like I did, and you're going to get a lot out of this.
Okay. When you're going through your home, there's always those little things that bug you in each room. It could be like a hook that you could install in the back of your door. It could be organizing products inside of your drawers. Just items that you need. So if you take a little notebook and just jot things down in each room, that is really a great tip because you can take that piece of paper, go shopping. Mm-hmm. Also jot down the measurements of your drawers and cabinets so that when you're out there and you find the perfect item for containing, you know exactly what length and width you need.
That is such a good tip. In fact, I would go so far as to say just carry a little tape measure with you, because sometimes you get to the store and they tell you that, oh, this container is such and such a size, and then when you actually measure it, you're finding out that they're kind of rounding things off a little bit. And so sometimes that even that half a centimeter or half an inch, they don't take into consideration like the lip. Maybe you have an overhang, a lip overhang or something on the bin, and that was my problem. Is the bin itself is exactly the measurement we needed, but there was like an overhang or something. So yeah, I mean, fantastic tip. We've got a wealth of information, not only here on this podcast talking with Renee today, but at our website, www.thingsinmyheadblog.com, and her website, renewyourspace.com. We're going to have a giveaway on our site for our listeners. Now, this is only for our listeners. We're not going to list it on the blog. So just because you listen to the podcast, yay, you're going to get a chance to download Renee's book, The Procrastinator's Workbook. We're going to give you a link when you comment on our site. Listen very, very carefully. We want you to tell us what you have been procrastinating about. Give us an idea of some of the ways that you've been procrastinating in the comments on our blog at www.thingsinmyheadblog.com. Go down to the end of the page, and we're going to send you a link directly from Renee's book, The Procrastinator's Workbook. And I think I might have to comment on my own blog just so I can get a copy of that one. Renee, thanks so much for being with us, and we really appreciate your blog. Just keep doing what you're doing because you're helping so many people out there organize their lives.
Thank you, Angel. It's been a pleasure.
There's a lot of information that she shares on her blog, renewyourspace.com, Renee Weatherford. You can also join her on Facebook. She has a group for the organizing challenge that she's doing. You can find all the information there on her website. And she is on Pinterest. She is on Facebook. She's everywhere. Okay, so go to renewyourspace.com and find Renee and her blog and everywhere she is on the internet. All right, so next week we've got a fantastic show lined up for you, something that we've never done before. I had an opportunity to talk with a gentleman by the name of Dr. Story Musgrave. Now, Dr. Musgrave was one of the astronauts that went up on several of the space shuttle missions. He was also one of the guys who got to go up into space and fix the Hubble telescope. So we're going to talk with Story Musgrave next week. Don't miss it. If you have little guys that are interested in becoming an astronaut when they grow up, this is the show to listen to. We'll see you next time on thingsinmyheadblog.com, as well as here on Spreaker Radio.